We want to get right to our top story. You see Michael there in Vatican City as we celebrate the life of Pope Francis, the spiritual leader of the world's more than 1.3 billion Catholics. There will be 9 days of mourning for the man known as the People's Pope. His body will be brought to St. Peter's Basilica.
And the public viewing will begin there tomorrow. Mourners will pay their respects. It was also just announced this morning that Pope Francis' funeral will be on Saturday. Thousands of people are expected, including dignitaries from around the world. President Trump and the First Lady will be attending the funeral. And as we said, Michael is in Vatican City where the faithful are gathering. Good morning, Michael.
Hey, good morning, George. We know Pope Francis, he left instructions in his will that his tomb be, quote, simple, without particular decoration, and with the only inscription, Franciscus, which is his name in Latin. The conclave of cardinals will meet in the Sistine Chapel to elect the person who will take his place. And we're going to have much more on that process. But first, our chief international correspondent, James Longman, starts us off in St. Peter's Square, where Pope Francis made his final public appearance just hours before he died, giving the traditional Easter blessing. Good morning, James.
Hi, Michael. Yeah, we've been watching all morning as tourists, visitors, pilgrims come by to pay their respects. They are, of course, finding themselves now in this real moment of history. We now know that Francis will lie in state for 3 days from tomorrow. He'll be brought in a ceremony tomorrow up the steps of St. Peter's Basilica there behind me. Lie in state through Saturday, when the funeral will take place right here in St. Peter's Square.
Thousands flocking to St. Peter's Square to celebrate the life of the Holy Father and mourn the loss of a one-of-a-kind Pope.
In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit.
It comes as this morning we're seeing the first images of Pope Francis after his passing in a simple wooden coffin that he requested. This certification of death ceremony presided over by American Cardinal Kevin Farrell, the Camerlengo, who is essentially running the Vatican until a new Pope is elected. The General Congregation of Cardinals is meeting this morning, and they're announcing these next steps. The public viewing for the Pope will begin Wednesday. He'll lie in state at St. Peter's Basilica for 3 days before his funeral Saturday in St. Peter's Square. And in his will, Pope Francis with the simple requests that characterized his papacy, asking only to be buried in the earth at St. Mary Maggiore Basilica in Rome. He'll be the first Pope to be buried outside of the Vatican in over a century. Details on the conclave to replace him have yet to be released. Francis died Easter Monday from a cerebral stroke, losing blood to his brain. The Pope fell into a coma with irreversible heart failure and passed away at 7:35 that morning. Just a day before, he was at St. Peter's Square in this extraordinary scene, making what would become his final public appearance. He greeted thousands from the Popemobile, blessing children in the crowd. Francis held on for Easter, the most important time of the year for Catholics. His voice just a whisper.
Fratelli e sorelle, buona Pasqua.
He had been battling pneumonia in both lungs, hospitalized for 38 days, and he suffered 2 emergencies that nearly ended his life. President Trump summing up what made Francis special.
He's a very good man who loved the world, and he especially loved people that were having a hard time, and that's good with me.
But this Pope was, for some Catholics, a controversial one. We spoke to an American family visiting the Vatican.
This was a Pope who was viewed as socially liberal. This past Pope was just a little out of step with a lot of the people.
After the Pope passed, his papal apartment closed off, red wax sealing the binds, part of a centuries-old tradition, ahead of preparations for his funeral.
We should know a little later today what hours people will be able to come and view Pope Francis as he lies in state. But it's not just Rome or the Vatican that should be remembering him. This is a man who took the church out to the very margins. And so from Papua New Guinea to Mongolia to the very north of Canada and Inuit communities, millions of people around the world will be remembering him this week.